the YouTube link.
Since the Yankees come to Trinidad, they got all the young girls going mad. Young girls say they treat them nice, make Trinidad like paradise. Drink rum like Coca-Cola, go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, working for the Yankee dollar.
Bye, guy. It's week 13. Labor Day games coming up. I'm at the cottage enjoying the dog days of summer. What's up with you? What's new? Anything exciting this coming weekend?
This is crazy week for me. I gotta remember not to book Labor Day trips anymore because I got a Labor Day trip coming, and then finding a time to draft fantasy football because I'm the commissioner has been a nightmare. But we found a spot. I'm going to draft on vacation. The girls have been informed, so and they're okay. So
hey, you gotta do the grind sometimes, man. It is what it is. I struggle with that, with booking a time for fantasy hockey too, man. Booking a lot of people to play a game is not easy these days. All right. Well, let's jump into it. I mean, it's obviously it's a short week. It's the 3 rival games. I can go on and talk about, why isn't Montreal and Ottawa a rival game and played on Labor Day weekend as well? I mean, but you can't mess with history, I guess.
There should have been a game tomorrow night or like Friday night, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like they're trying to make the Thanksgiving thing a game between Ottawa and Montreal, and maybe that's going to be their kind of shtick, the same way that the CNE game is Toronto shtick. But let's talk about
last week. I told you guys that CNE game. These guys are going to get up, and everybody and their mother picked BC last week. Not here.
Yep. Nope, not here at the Rants Rouges. We went. Where did we go last week? We went 4-1. No,
we only lost the Rider. Saskatchewan absolutely shit the bed.
Yeah. Well, did they shit the bed or did Calgary stomp them in? That's the question.
They were up a half. It was 15-14.
By 1. Wasn't it by 1?
So how many points did they score in the second half?
0. Yeah, I know. A flat 0.
I scored more points on my couch, or the same amount of points on my couch.
That's very true. Very true. They stopped playing. Definitely a tale of 2 halves there for Saskatchewan. I want to kind of, before we jump into sort of last week's results, because that'll play into some of how we're leaning this week. But what we had happen over the course of this week, and is still happening, is we finally had the NFL teams go through their final roster cuts as they prepare for the start of their season. So you're starting to see this time around in the CFL, if you're new to watching the CFL, a lot of players that have played previously on the CFL teams, oftentimes in the winter, end up joining practice teams or practice rosters of other NFL teams. And then they go through the whole sort of spring and summer attempting to make that team or working out with those teams. And then oftentimes their rights are still retained by most CFL teams, so they return back to the CFL if they don't end up finding a block or a home or a spot on an NFL team. So that's why you're seeing this week a couple of returnees to a few teams, some returnees jumping probably right into game time. Others might take a week or two, and others might be coming into a crowded house and have to fight for spots this season. So we're going to see a lot of that impact how this week goes and how the rest of the season goes. But I wanted to ask you, Mike, a lot of people around the CFL talk about the season only starts this weekend. And I'm trying to think, okay, I want to maybe make a post around this. I want to showcase some stats around this. I'm like, I could showcase records up to week 12. All right. And then teams that oftentimes have a good record by week 12 oftentimes make the playoffs and maybe make a push for it. But there are a few cases where Labor Day kind of switches on certain teams, and a 5-0, a 6-1, or even like a 4-3 gets you into a spot that you weren't previously in. So think about Edmonton if they go on a bit of a 4-3 run, then they end up in the playoffs because they took a spot from BC or
Well,
Winnipeg or something like that. But I mean, I'm just
Edmonton
using
probably. Oh yeah, yeah. Edmonton probably needs to go a little more because they don't have the tiebreaker.
Yeah, they're right. That's right. But so a lot of people say that this is the start of the season, at least for the CFL. It's the road to the playoffs, week 13 onwards. Would you agree?
Not this year, no, because we've already seen all the Calgary, Saskatchewan, all the Calgary, Winnipeg games. And those are 1, 2, 3 in the West. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're seeing the Winnipeg, Saskatchewan games, but Calgary's won all the other ones. So it's like the season's on. However, Calgary has not played BC or Edmonton, which is weird.
They just dominated the 1 and 3 spots right now in the West.
In the East, this could manufacture itself. I could see it in the East, not so much in the West. Maybe for Edmonton because they still have 3 games against the Stamps, and I think another like Edmonton still has a ton of games in division against everybody except BC. So maybe for like a team like that where you have a ton of in division games, I could see where the season would start. Like if it was, if Winnipeg and Saskatchewan were both 7-2 or something like that, or 7-3. And at the top of the division, you can say, okay, now the season really starts. But that's not what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think the season,
maybe only starts here in the East. Did I lose you?
Yeah. But in the East, though, like Montreal's probably going to get some guys back. They're on bye this week. Ottawa and Toronto, Ottawa's got an injured quarterback. Maybe he comes back. Toronto, I don't know what's going on with Kelly. I don't think he's playing ever again in the CFL. From what I mean, they just signed another quarterback. But Hamilton's only what's Hamilton 6-4? Like you can catch them. Like
for sure.
Not. So in the East, I could see where you could say the season starts because everyone's kind of the best record 6-4. Everybody else is 500 or worse.
But it doesn't.
But in the West, those Calgary wins over Winnipeg and Saskatchewan have pretty much, like it's gonna be. They need help mainly from Edmonton to get that one spot now. Winnipeg and Saskatchewan. No, I don't know Saskatchewan if they went out because they have only 2 losses. But I don't trust.
You have to win out. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that game. Let's bring up the first game and pardon if I keep cutting out. Connection issues here. It's not the greatest.
You're okay so far.
Okay, good. Let's kind of power through this one. We're gonna aim for 45 minutes with this cast, not our usual 1 hours. But we talked about Winnipeg and Saskatchewan briefly in that sort of opening piece there. Obviously, Winnipeg here coming off a 2-game win streak, and then Saskatchewan coming off sort of a second half collapse, if you can say. No real strategy or answer to whatever the Stamps were putting on the field. And we have this line open up 5-5. It stayed stable throughout the week. Obviously, this game is still Sunday night. It'll be the first of the 3 games. Right now, the line is favoring Saskatchewan. It's going to be a sold-out home. I think they are even selling standing space, if I'm correct. It's pretty much the game that they're looking to stabilize and pretty much put Winnipeg out of reach of 1 and 2, if they can. You talked about Saskatchewan potentially needing to win this more than ever, not to make the playoffs, but to have home field in the playoffs, at least up until the Grey Cup. So where do you lean here? At first I was probably swinging, based on Winnipeg's performance. Okay, they struggled second half against Calgary pretty badly, but so did Saskatchewan. And then they beat up, a Red Blacks team that is very beatable. And then they mollywop Montreal, given Montreal circumstances with all the injuries and it wasn't even that convincing of a win.
There wasn't Montreal was in the game until the fourth quarter. And they had James Morgan out there. You know what I mean? Like Winnipeg has not been impressive.
No, not at all. Obviously, the key injury here, still, at least from the early injury report, is
Oh, Jason cut out. That's okay. The key injury is Nick Dembski, he was about to say. Number 10 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the leading wide receiver. He has cooked Saskatchewan time and time again previously. 100. They had 100. The good thing about Winnipeg's performance against Montreal, they had 176 rushing yards, 7.7 yards per carry. So that was good. You got to get Oliveira going here. That's probably their key to victory here. If they can get Oliveira in the run game going against Saskatchewan, who's had a pretty good run defense, and it disappeared last week. I couldn't find the defensive lineman allowed Dedrick Mills 141 yards on the ground, and they didn't sack Vernon Adams once. So what the fuck were they doing out there? They were awful. I don't know. In a rematch with Calgary, 0 sacks, and you allowed the running back to go 141 yards, 4 for 4 in the red zone. Well, this is supposed to be the top defense in the CFL. It's not. It's Calgary, or and the other team they're playing this week. But then Montreal's quarterback, backup fourth string, throws 242 yards, and the game's competitive for 3 quarters. Now he had 2 picks, so the defense did that for the Bombers, but it still was a tight game. But the injuries are the problem for the Bombers. I mentioned Dembski. It looks like Schoen's gonna play, so maybe it's a 1-for-1. But like Dembski is more the clutch guy, and Stearns is out. They've been signing guys off the streets. They signed Cam Eccles, they signed Kyron Moore, who we haven't seen in a couple of years. But he's both of them have CFL experience. But they're still making coaching blunders, though. There was I can't remember. There was another coaching blunder during the game. I meant to look it up, but then I never got around to it. But I know he made a dumb move in the game. Did you know what it was?
Oh, sorry, my Wi-Fi is cutting in and out. I just left the hotspot. Okay. Yeah, no, go ahead. It was a coaching blunder, you said, in the which game? The Montreal game? There was another one. Winnipeg's been ill prepared. It's not Winnipeg's typical game, but come on. I mean, Saskatchewan has two interceptions, or Harris throws 2 interceptions. They have 2 turnovers and downs. They don't sack Vernon Adams once. Allow 141 on the ground, and allow Calgary 4 for 4 in the red zone. You're going to lose. It unable to adjust in the second half. The Calgary has shown the ability to come on in the second half now a couple of times. So that's pretty good to watch. The savior of Saskatchewan is coming. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are looking to sign Easton Stick. Boy. That's great. He's not going to play, but I don't. If I'm a Rough Rider fan, that looks like PJ Walker 2.0 right there. I mean, you want to talk about a guy who was bad in the NFL. Easton Stick is real bad. Easton Stick was in that game. I think the Raiders scored 60 points against the Chargers a year or so ago. I mean, you just add him to the negotiation, but it's not going to be played. He's not playing at all. I think it's just to have the rights. You never know. The Argos also, picked up a QB, an interesting guy. Yeah, he's more interesting. Easton Stick. I've seen it. You got nothing with him. What do you think of a Joe coming back? Yeah, I don't. Is he going to play? I don't think he's going to play. I don't think he's going to play. But the point is, does he really add much more to the Riders' offense? They're already stacked up front. They just got some hurt. Some guys hurt. If he comes back, okay, you got an extra body there for those injuries. Is Emlis on the IL? Yeah, I believe he still is. Yeah. Okay. So they need a receiver. They don't really. He's like a big receiver. They don't really have that. Yeah. But you'll have Mario and Bain Jr. this game. Yeah, Mario's going to be back. So yeah, it's Sales. Sales still did not practice this week, so that's I think the big loss for them there. And then their kicker, they've signed another guy coming up. Who's the new kicker they picked up? Campbell Fair. Campbell Fair. That's right. Yeah. So I think that was the guy who was in competition with
Edmonton guy,
Yeah,
Blanchard. There was the
Blanchard,
other. He was the other guy. So it's a good
So they
pickup. I
some
did.
CFL experience too.
Yeah, I do want to touch on the kicking. That kind of did hamper. I mean, you go down the field the first drive and you miss a 20-yarder. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I mean, this Saskatchewan team's had kicking issues. I know lots of time. Maybe he was distracted because of the baby that hopefully was born fine. But he's been a detriment. Now, this is finally they lost one, because he's been missing and they're still winning. But I don't know. It looked like they got a little bit deflated, when he missed that first kick. I mean, this is the team that beat you. This is the team that out physicaled you. The only team that's out physicaled you. You know what I mean? The Calgary Stampeders.
you got to finish those. You got to pop them in. 3 points matter in these games.
Yeah. Mosaic's going to be sold out. They're selling standing room tickets. It's going to be rowdy in there. I don't know. Is Winnipeg like Saskatchewan has problems, but I don't know if Winnipeg's a team to exploit them. I wrote down. I didn't bet it. I wrote down maybe play Saskatchewan 5.5, but I don't know. We'll see. If Dembski's out, I scratch it. If Dembski's out, I probably lay it. If Dembski's in, I think Winnipeg's very live to win, not even just to cover, to win the game.
Just take the W. Wow.
Yeah.
In Saskatchewan, historically not the greatest results in Saskatchewan, but recency, they've been pretty good in winning these games.
Yeah, but
3-1 since COVID. So
yeah, but since COVID, Saskatchewan's been awful. Outside of last year,
well,
especially late in the season.
Yeah, well, last year is when it was around this time where Saskatchewan started, losing, or they were at the beginning of that quite a long losing streak, where they lost all that advantage they had built up early season. And last year, same time around, this is when Winnipeg kind of started going on a bit of a heater. Finished the season 6-1, So
I'm worried. I'm if I'm laying it with the Riders here, I'm worried that Winnipeg's a veteran team. We know they can turn it on. Were they 5-5 or 6-5 or something?
Last year, right now or last?
What's their record now?
They're 6-4. They're better than last year.
Yeah, they're better than they were last year. A couple of they got James Morgan. They got they got a couple of nice cakes. You know what I mean? Dustin Crum. And they almost lost that game. So I would only play the Riders here, but I don't trust it. So it's a pass, just a lean. The total could go either way. If Winnipeg, if Winnipeg gets the run game going, this like Saskatchewan has to stop the run here. Make Kolaros has been average. Make him beat you. Kolaros has been average at best. You got to take away the run. If it's 7 yards per carry for the Bombers between Strevler and Oliveira, you're losing this game. So it's the Winnipeg run game is the whole game, in my opinion. If Winnipeg runs the ball well, they probably win the game. But if you let Brady unload, and start ramping up a bit there, I think it's going to be another matter of tails of two halves. I think Saskatchewan will come out hard, but will they sustain that heat? And then Winnipeg hasn't traditionally done well second half this year. Haven't really started. You're probably catching Winnipeg in an interesting year where you're not just favorites. You're kind of heavy favorites here. Well, you're at home, so it's
not as
more. It's more of like 3.5.
You're getting the 2 from home. Fair enough. I wonder what the reverse will be. The Banjo Bowl, and I think it maybe depends on the win.
If Winnipeg wins, they'll be 1 2-point favorites. If Saskatchewan smashes them, Saskatchewan will probably be 2.5 3-point favorites. If it's within the spread, it'll probably be Saskatchewan -1. Pick them. Saskatchewan they'll be less than 3. But it could get bet to pick them. I wouldn't be shocked if it was pick 'em, even if Saskatchewan won, but it didn't cover around the number because the Banjo Bowl. When's the last time Saskatchewan won that? It's been a while.
Yeah, so. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? This has typically been a 2 weeks where Winnipeg's dominated.
Yeah, I feel like next week, if Winnipeg doesn't absolutely like get clowned, like I'd much rather take Winnipeg next week at a cheap number than because it feels like this is going to be a split. But
agreed.
Are they going to win by 6?
Yeah. So we'll say we lean Saskatchewan for now, but it might change based on a couple of injuries over the next 2 days or 3. Let's jump to another game that has a bit more certainty, I guess, in terms of injuries and such, and teams on a kind of an interesting benders. Obviously, we have Hamilton, who jumped into that bye week, a much needed bye week, a much late bye week for them.
Came at the right time.
They were starting to struggle towards the end of that. Took quite the slowdown against Saskatchewan. You could see how tired they were. So they got the extra break, the extra long break too. And then they get to face the Argos coming off the CNE game. And I think what you and I want to discuss is how much of the real Argos did we see last weekend? Was it the CNE excitement? Was it BC just shits the bed at BMO? Because BC's offense was pretty good. We were super comfortable with the best bet. I mean, it covered by what, third quarter? Third quarter.
That may have been the Eagles first half. The last week was the easiest best bet I've won since Eagles first half in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That was a no doubter. 49 points in it was 55.5. And when I look at a total that's high, and I'm thinking they're still just going to go over it, like it's an automatic bet because they're trying to not get you to bet the over, but it's just you knew it would be like you knew the Argos are going to come out, and they have no, the defense has been awful outside of McManus, and that's what they had to do to win, score 50 points, and they did. And BC's defense was. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I was thinking, 30, you get a fun 30, 38, 30 game or something like that. Not 52, but
52.
Geez, I mean, BC got up early, and I was like, great. I thought we were in trouble. I'm like, we're going to need BC to score 40 here, but never mind. The Argos woke right up.
They came to play. They came to contend. I think a lot of it did have to do with the environment. Largest crowd they've had this season. Crowd was pretty rambunctious. The fair in the background, the environment itself sets your team up for wanting to play harder, wanting to play every drive a little bit easier. I think the offense with BC was cooking. They were doing fine. It was just the defense couldn't shut down anything. I mean, when you're going back to back to White Saquon, and scoring.
Like Herslow,
Herslow.
He was excellent. I'm a little nervous here. If you're Hamilton, don't fuck around here. I mean, you're off the bye, but put these guys to bed early. Don't let them hang. Don't let them hang. This team is dangerous right now because you saw what happened last week. You don't want to let the Argos get going because, like you said, the season could start Labor Day, right? Like the season could, they're saying for the Argos, you rack off a big win at the CNE and a big win in Hamilton on Labor Day. All of a sudden, you're looking at that BC game, that BC holding the crossover. So we're like, we can catch these guys. We can beat, Montreal. Why not? We did it before. We can be. And I don't know if the problem would be Hamilton is. I can't remember the last time we lost a home playoff game, but that wasn't the Grey Cup. But it's gonna be interesting. The big thing that okay, it was one game. BC's defense was awful, but the big thing was they got the run game when Spencer Brown on 100 yards. That's how bad. That's how bad BC. You have the Argos to run for 100 yards. They've been averaging 40 yards a game. They're for 100 yards.
I know, it's crazy.
It was awful. And then obviously
Yeah,
didn't
it's
win.
terrible.
Dinwiddie's got the room from what everything I've
He's
read.
got him
you know,
back. Yeah, he got him back.
Yeah, he's got the room 100%. Polk is back. You know, that tells you something. He came. I don't know if they had the rights to him, but the fact that he signed right away.
Yeah.
On a team
Yeah,
that's like
and might even play. Might
3
even
and
play.
whatever.
Yeah.
3 and 8. Or
Yeah, that's
whatever
right.
they
He
are.
didn't even shop around. He just went right. He's just like, all right, I'm back. Let's run it back. And Hunter's back potentially. It sounds like he's at full practice, so it would be nice to see him on our front line again.
So the Ticats that we mentioned, they needed the bye. They had a chance to get healthy. I wanted to see this injury report because if they're fully healthy, I was just going to lay it clearly. But Castantonis didn't practice today. The lead trade doesn't really matter too much, but it'd be nice to have him back. Couple D linemen, but Castantonis is the big one. Jamal Peters did practice though.
He did.
So that's a big one.
He loves playing the Argos too. He loves playing the Argos. Oh,
so
man. Like an edge, he just has an edge against him.
Yeah, the Hamilton defense has to be the difference here. Like you just don't allow 35 points. You know what I mean? Like if you hold it, you can hold the Argos. Your offense is going to go and get. Like I'm pretty confident Hamilton's going to go score 27 to 30 points here. Bo is what 7-0 on Labor Day.
7-0. Yeah, I was just going to say. I mean, he hasn't lost one.
It's
I don't think he expects to lose it too. It is a little chilly, in Southern Ontario.
It's sold out in the Hammer, back-to-back games. This is the second game in a row. We have the Shea game. Now this game is sold out. They lost to Shea. Now, again, the last two games for Hamilton were horrible spots. This is a game they can get back on track here. And I'm probably going to bet the Hamilton -5.5. I got that. I bet against them 2 weeks ago. So this is the Argos played their, they got their nice D&E win. They're going to come out. They're going to come out. It's going to, it's not going to be, I'm a little worried, they could come out, a little tough here. But, I'm not sold they're going to, I said, maybe they play these two and then they quit. I don't know if they're, they might play spoiler a little bit down the stretch, but they got a nice big win last week. Hamilton got coming off two ugly loss or overtime loss, then an ugly loss. Yeah, this is the Hamilton spot off the bye.
I'll say this. For me, honestly, man, I look at I'm not so much concerned with Hamilton locking down maybe the East, and maybe this W here against the Argos definitely helps them lock down first place or home during the East playoffs. But you got Montreal next week. If you're Hamilton, you got Montreal. You get 2 games lead on them if you win both games, and then Montreal has to still take on Saskatchewan. They still got to then take on the Argos. Then they got to take on Calgary. This to me is like, hey man, if the Argos get a win here, they're not looking to catch Hamilton. They're looking to catch Montreal. They don't really care about the crossover. This is a battle for second place. And right now,
again.
Yeah, right now until Davis Alexander comes back from Montreal, I don't think people have him at the bottom of the league in terms of being the worst team.
Yeah, people in Montreal. I think that's ridiculous.
I think it's wrong.
Ottawa is really the worst team in the league right now. If even if you're saying, oh, they're another 4th string, yeah, but Ottawa with Dustin Crum is not much
doing
better.
Much either.
All right, they're not better at all, in my opinion.
No,
like Montreal's defense, has played pretty well. A couple games in a row with the 4th stringer.
Do you think this? Yeah, I agree. I do as an Argo fan. I also lean Hamilton here at home. It's until it happens. How many games has Toronto beaten Hamilton in Hamilton during Labor Day? Maybe 1-2 times in the last 10 years. Yeah, but I'm talking about like the last decade. Yeah, not many.
It's not.
So being able to lose some of those, but the total here, you talked about books wanting to be scared about the total. Do you think they're trying to scare people off here as well? 57.5. You know, you
But
talked about
it opened
Hamilton
lower.
hitting 30. You talk about Hamilton hitting 30-ish. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, can the Argos hit 25, 24?
I don't know. I'd rather just play the I mean, I know it's like 32, 33, but I'd rather just play the Hamilton team. I mean, both threw 0 touchdowns in the game against Saskatchewan. That's the first
Yeah.
time this has happened. Bo's undefeated
Yeah.
on Labor Day. You know, this smells like Bo's gonna be everybody's captain this week on the
Yeah. What's the team
fantasy. I
total?
mean, I don't know. I didn't look, but doing the math here, it's going to be at least 32.
You think that high? Let me see. That's a pretty.
Yeah, because
He hits 32. I mean,
26 plus 6, yeah, 32. It should be 32 and a half, 31. Yeah, it's so high. Like, I mean, it's just so high. I bet it last week, but I was so sure. Like, I was like, no, this is an explosive. This game could be a little tighter. You know, we saw the Argos explosion. I think I'm going to stay off the total here at 57 and a half. I mean, you need. I think there is a 56 and a half out there. So if you do just want to ride the over game, I'm not betting the under. There's no fucking way that I'm betting the under in this game. Not a chance. It's over or nothing. But I think I'm just going to stay off. You know, it probably goes over, but you know, I would hate for a game to end, 30-26 and you don't get the over. Like, oh, that'd be awful.
It would be terrible. You'll feel.
Yeah, I was a little worried last week, but I was just so sure. I'm like, oh no, this smells like this is because you knew the Argos were going to come to play. Like my handicap was the Argos were going to come to play, and if the Argos come to play, it means BC has to score more, right? Whereas in this game, the Argos are off that big win. It's not the same spot. Hamilton's the one who's going to come to play, and maybe they just take him out, which is why I would prefer Hamilton on the spread -5.5 because I think Hamilton could just beat these guys pretty
live on the show. It's already dropped to 4.5.
Well, it's 4.5 on the board.
Yeah,
probably because looking at the injury report with Costantonis, which I mean he's a big part, but I don't think like the defense is there. Almost. The Hamilton needs like 3-4 stops in this game,
and they'll get him. I think they'll get him.
Yeah.
And if not, they'll get the special teams to do their job.
And both kickers, very good. So we're not worried about Brett Lother missing the field goal here.
Yeah, 20 yards. Yeah.
It was the same thing last week, right? It was Hoo-Ha and White, and it's like, oh, they're not missing.
No, they were going. Their punts were really good too last week. But that's expected from both kickers. Let's talk about
on the Ticats too.
Oh, he's on the Ticats. Well, he's gonna go see him with me. So, good to know. Good to know.
Get this game. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm heading over to Hamilton, the Hammer. I'll be there to watch this one. It'll be my actual first Labor Day game, actually. So looking forward to it.
I have to. My Monday is insane. I want it to stop over, but it's just I want to. I have to make another.
There's more. This is not the last one, man. This is not the last one. Don't worry. But let's talk about the last game on the docket. It's the Monday nighter. Edmonton comes into Calgary. Calgary, obviously, this is their first matchup this year, 1 of 3. So they still see each other 3 times this season.
The bet's still alive.
The bet's
it's awful value, but it's still alive.
It's still alive. We did lose the future, the Calgary.
Oh yeah.
It's official.
But the other 3 win totals are looking. The Edmonton one is 50-50, but the Montreal one's starting to look better and better. The BC one's starting to look okay.
Better.
You know what I mean? The other 3 are definitely in play. So one we wrote this off. We made our money back those 3 weeks. We just hammered Calgary back to backs.
Yeah, you caught it back. But let's talk about this one here, because I don't necessarily agree too much with this line. Obviously, it's 7.5. I think it opened 5.5.
Nope,
days ago.
5.6.
Yeah, so it's already moved obviously towards Calgary. But for me, like, Edmonton has been looking pretty good. This is a little bit of a stretch that they've had. Going back to how you discussed that you think it was going to take some time for them to get adjusted to Gilliam's coaching style, getting all the guys ready. But ever since Cody's taken the reins of this team, and they've had decent QB play and consistent QB play, maybe that's more important. Maybe it's not decent, it's consistent, that they know what to expect when Cody's behind the ball versus Trey Ford. No disrespect to Ford. I do still think he's got the capabilities to do things. But Cody just brings a little bit of stability to that offensive line and that offense, that they are starting to gel, starting to get better and better. That I don't know if this team is as bad as this line suggests, but it could be that people are just really high on Calgary right now after beating Saskatchewan twice this season, beating Winnipeg 3 times this season. Really dominating all these the top West teams, frankly, and then taking care of the East here and there, minus Ottawa. I mean, randomly lost the season series to Ottawa, but
0-2 versus Dustin Crum, and
then the rest they've just dominated. What's your thoughts on this take? And do you think the line is justified? Do you think people are just jumping on the Calgary bandwagon this Labor Day weekend?
So the spread, I get it. Edmonton's beaten a couple of cakes 3 weeks in a row. It was 3 weeks ago they beat the Argos when the Argos were a mess. 2 weeks ago they beat.
2 weeks ago was Argos. 3 weeks ago was Montreal.
Montreal with MBT.
Yeah,
the statue. Then it was the Argos, and then Ottawa with Crum. You know what I mean? Like, it's been. Yeah. They won the games. They were favored, I believe, in all 3, and they won all 3. So we mentioned last week, the Elks are favored. They're very good. They cover. They win and cover. It's the teams they can beat because they play hard every week because you're Edmonton. There's only so many wins. They signed Jake Julian back.
Yes.
He got cut.
He didn't make the Bucks. I don't understand. This guy's an elite punter.
I don't know. Like, the best special teams in the league. Yes, but this is where I think the number is wrong here. Edmonton is by far the number 1 special teams in the CFL. It's not even close. You watch their every game. They get free yards. They scored a touchdown last week on special teams that basically cover the spread. That is not being accounted for in this line. I've been saying it for 3-4 weeks now. The special teams on the Elks is absolutely outstanding. It's way better than everybody else having issues covering punts or kicking or. I mean, okay, the kicking game is, it's not great. It's not, automatic. It's good with his Blanchard. He's figuring it out. He's a younger kicker. Justin Rankin, the offense is running through him right now. Now, there were injuries. Dunbar's on the IL, the 6th game. That's big. He's the number 1 wideout. And then somebody else on the defense, also on the IL. The defensive line.
Robbie Smith?
So 2 guys. It's not Serezna. So
No. Smith.
Okay, yeah. It's not Serezna, so I don't know. Yeah. Whatever.
But they might get.
It has been a very good defense.
But they might get Nick Anderson back this week. And that would be a big. Yeah, him coming off the 6th game be big for them.
Yeah.
Last year's rookie of the year.
Yes. So and so another thing with the Elks, the defense has been excellent since the bye. We talked about this. They've only allowed more than 20 points, or I think they've allowed they allowed 24 to Hamilton, 21 to Saskatchewan, everybody else 20 or less. So the big good offenses aren't getting into the high 20s, mid 20s, and then the rest of the teams 20 or less. It's been an excellent defensive effort here. So they just kind of got, if they can get this offense going, which they've gone a little bit last couple of weeks. I mean, it helps when you play a Redback secondary, 3rd straight win, 30-20.
Yeah.
The Red Black secondary, they were starting an 8th round rookie last year, so that's all you need to know. But another key thing with the Elks, they're learning to win close games. They're winning these close games now. They're not They're closing them out.
They're not elking them away.
No, they do very well. Now, obviously, the Stamps are the best team in the league, and everyone's power rankings, and they just clapped Saskatchewan again. 18-0 in the second half, en route to a decisive win against the Riders. No sacks allowed. Vernon Adams and the offense are back on track after the PJ Walker debacle a few weeks ago.
You don't think 141
yards in the ground? Sorry?
You don't think the flu
I was going to get into
the play?
So VA and Tevin Jones have the flu. I know they practice. I saw that last week. I said, "Oh my god, if PJ Walker plays, it's Edmonton minus 3.5." I said, "Hey, dude." But yeah, no, it looks like VA is going to play. I still like Edmonton plus 7.5. Big Hill might play this weekend.
Yes, he might get his debut. Yeah,
yeah.
This is Cody's debut at Labor Day too.
Yeah, Calgary's been susceptible here in the last couple of games of the first half. They were down 17-0 to the Bombers two weeks ago. They were down 15-14. We talked about that last week. I think if Edmonton can get going, they're going to stay in this game. This spread is too big. Calgary kill them. They could, but I don't know. All the comments from Calgary, not one person mentioned Edmonton. Like, are they fat and happy? I mean, you just swept the Riders. You swept Winnipeg already. Those are the guys behind you. Now you're going home to. I know it's Labor Day, but you're going home to play Edmonton. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And they've been slow in the first half. I don't think Calgary's like Edmonton's live here.
Everyone's saying. Well, I would say this. Yeah. What we're forgetting, and we haven't mentioned yet, is that this is Mark Killam's return to McMahon.
Your return.
Right? This is a guy who groomed that defense. Maybe, it seems like they got better once they sent them away to Edmonton.
Why? But 12 new starters on defense, new quarterback, Dominic Grimes is here.
I mean, Ottawa gave away Webb for nothing, so
exactly. So
a little bit of difference there, making Dave Dickinson look freaking fantastic when this guy was.
I mean, to be fair though, the special teams have been worse.
They have been
he
worse,
left.
Yes.
So it's not like their returns are just okay. Horton, whatever, I mean, it's nothing special.
Him being assistant head coach for better part of 5 years there, he's gonna know a little bit of the tricks that are under Dave's skin. So the edge I would still put the coaching edge on a little bit on Edmonton here, just for the surprise factor. But it's not like both teams are going into this game not expecting something different. Maybe the edge is a little bit on the special teams. Maybe people are not accounting for that unit to be as impactful. But if you think about the 16-2 run that the Argos had a few seasons back, why they were so successful there was because their special teams was next to none. It was just consistently dominating. So a special teams cohort group can tilt your team to where you need it to, that extra punt. And now you get a guy who can punt it even better in the CFL. The best punter in the CFL is back in the CFL.
He's very good. He's a 60-yard guy, places it nicely.
Yeah.
They even brought him out. I remember the last year against the Argos, the overtime, they brought him out to kick a Rouge. While they're bringing out Pieguy.
They're just they do it
just to win the game. And we had the money. If you laid 1.5, I said it on the show. Don't do it. So just laid 20 cents on the money line. It's fine. But yeah, Edmonton's won the last 3. Like everybody, all I hear, Calgary's going to win this game. Calgary's going to win this game. I'm full of shit. I don't trust them. I like the Elks. Calgary's talking the post game comment. I mean, it could be nothing burgers, right? Like, they're saying they can't win the Grey Cup. So they said, okay, we didn't win the Grey Cup today. Yeah, we beat Winnipeg, we beat Saskatchewan. We're finished with them for the regular season. But they said, no, we didn't win the Grey Cup today. We're probably going to see them later on. They're not even thinking about Edmonton after that game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They completely, they ignored it. Yeah. And the fan base too. The fan base thinks It's 1 and 2 that they're
Yeah.
facing only the best.
Yeah, I think they're going to be in a dogfight here. I know Edmonton, against the West, they're 0-4. They haven't played Calgary. Okay, they played BC, who owns them forever, and they've played Winnipeg in a game where it was kind of tight till the end, and then they lost to Saskatchewan by 3 points. They lose by 3 points here. They cover the spread.
They cover. That's all we're looking for.
But here's the thing, Calgary. If Edmonton drags you into one of these dogfights, I trust Fajardo in the dogfight more than Vernon. Vernon Adams is susceptible to throwing that interception. We've seen it. So
yeah, well, the Fajardo, the Grey Cup, the Montreal Grey Cup, 2 years ago. I mean, that was the dogfight, right? Cody came back down pretty much the whole game, and he just fought it. The extra yard here or there.
This kind of does smell like Montreal because the defense is very good on the Celtics team, and they're not being recognized. Look at this total. These are the two of the three best defenses in the CFL. Why is this 52.5? This is way too high. This is another Elks under. The market hasn't adjusted. This is the same number we got last week. I said, okay, it was a little dicey last week. We got to 50, but this isn't the red-black secondary we're dealing with. This is Calgary. Adrian Green's supposed to be back here, or might be back. But the under 52.5. This is a no-brainer. I mean. Yeah, the Elks MO, they haven't looked more than 24 points to anybody. Calgary's more of a lower scoring team. They won 30. What was the score last week? 32-50. That's under 52.5.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Calgary's probably going to bottle up the Elks pretty good here on offense. Elks offense is kind of their they got the offense has to figure it out, but we'll see. We'll see if the offense can figure it out as the season goes along. They've been getting better every week. I'm tempted to take that money line. It's plus 310.
I'm on it. I'm on it. I mean, it's not gonna be a full unit. I'm gonna give it a third, but I like it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna play. I just I know I shouldn't do it because I have all those preseason Elks bets. I'm just like, man, like.
Sometimes you got to do it.
This is they've won 3 in a row. I know it's not the best of competition. Calgary hasn't, they looked decisive in the second half, but that first half wasn't anything special. VA threw 2 picks again. If Edmonton defense shows up here, VA gets a little bit rattled. If they're in a dogfight, they have the better special teams. One Javon Leake's gone, and all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Calgary's in a dogfight.
Pretty much. Pretty much catching up.
I just, I don't know. I just this probably should have been 6. And we're getting 7.5. So I think it opened.
I think it opened correctly at 5.5.
Yeah. I saw 5.5, 6. I said probably. I was like, maybe what are we gonna get with the Elks here? 5.5, 6. Now we're getting a nice big number. And this is the flu factor. Like I said,
never know.
Vernon Adams wakes up Monday morning and he's bad, and PJ Walker walks in on the field. Guess what? It's Edmonton -3. It's at least a 10-point difference. Edmonton will beat him pretty good. So there's always the chance we get the flu nonsense. The under will cash. PJ Walker can barely throw the ball.
So we're going. All right, I think I got him here. All right, let me throw up the bets this week. Now, I know we were leaning 5-5 on Saskatchewan. Again, during this show, it's dropped down. Saskatchewan Winnipeg has dropped to 4.5 as well.
I had a pass.
So let's just pass on that one. Then you know what? I'm going to take it out.
But that's the thing. Like Calgary's. They swept Winnipeg. They swept Saskatchewan. There's problems in Winnipeg. There's problems in Saskatchewan. They beat Hamilton. But that was on that was on Hamilton's horrible spot. They beat the Toronto game a fight. They beat BC. Big deal, right? The BC's it's. I don't know if Calgary's as good as people think they are. They are probably the best team in the CFL, but I think Calgary's.
I think Calgary's at the top.
I can take my chances that maybe it's the matchup, but I feel like Edmonton's going to drag him here. They're going to drag him in this fight, and I would be more nervous if they didn't have 12 new starters on defense, and you had those guys who remember getting whooped by Edmonton 3 times last year. Always gone. Judge is gone. You know what I mean? Jake Maynard's
Houston is
gone.
gone. Houston's on
Binghamton's on the
Winnipeg.
IL. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. These guys who got whooped last year, a lot of them are gone because the coaches are there, but they're not the ones on the field. The coaches are going to give good effort every
They
week.
don't care. They don't care so much. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas these
so
Edmonton guys have a bit more of an edge. You know, they'll fight for Mark. I think.
Edmonton can still make the playoffs. The BC.
I know, if I'm a BC
they're
Lions fan, I'm
trouble.
sweating a bit.
If Saskatchewan wins, it takes Winnipeg down a notch just to play. It's not over.
But
it's not over.
A BC fan's nightmare. BC fans' nightmare here is a Toronto, Winnipeg, and Edmonton win week. That's the BC nightmare, where all the guys you don't need to win are winning. Totally plausible too.
I don't know. I think one underdog. I guarantee. I'm not guaranteed, but I think one underdog this week will win. One will for sure.
And you're leaning Edmonton.
I think it's Edmonton. They're the biggest one, but I could see Winnipeg winning. I could see Toronto winning. I could see all three. I don't think none of these games is why I haven't really. I lead with Hamilton, but it's more of a spot bet. It's why I'm hesitant to lay with Saskatchewan. I'm taking the other side of the Calgary game because that game line got pushed, and then the unders is absolutely absurd in my opinion. And these games aren't. These are rivalry games. There's gonna be an upset. There will be for sure at least one. I think there's gonna be one for sure, maybe two. Who knows?
Yeah. Hopefully not your Ticats.
I don't know. I'm a little. I'm going into it. If Castantonis plays, I'm pretty confident that Hamilton's going to win and cover.
Yeah,
but
there's certain players that just want to beat Toronto.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That Hamilton team always wants to beat Toronto. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You come in and you're like, the mantra is beat Toronto. Everyone else is whatever.
But if you look at a couple weeks ago when they played, that was a horrible spot against BC, but the crowd and Bo kept them in it, and they almost stole that one. They had no business taking that game in overtime. So I think now that they're rested, the crowd's behind them. Yeah, the Hamilton should win. They should win by 7 or more.
I know it's not your best bet, though.
No, the best bet.
Are we going the Edmonton spread?
No. They're going to do what you wanted to do last week. We're going to take the under. The under 52. Edmonton can't be lined to the 50s right now. The books haven't adjusted. The highest they've had since the bye is 52 against the Ticats. Calgary's not an over team. Last week Ottawa's an over team, and they still kept that game under. You know what I mean? Saskatchewan's not really an over. Toronto's an over team. That game stayed under. You know what I mean? Like, Calgary's an under team. So there's 2 under teams in my opinion. The total's way, way too high. Under 52.5.
Yeah.
And
Elks are 3-7 on the over-unders, 7 to the under. Calgary's 4-6. So you have a combined record here of 7 and 13.
And if I haven't seen them play. Like, this could be a 2-unit play, but I haven't seen them play, so I don't know because the new Calgary team. Right? I don't know the matchup because we saw last year Edmonton absolutely demolished that defense last year. But it's a different offense. It's a different defense.
Team. Yeah.
So
two different teams right now.
Yeah, they're very different teams. Right? I mean, Edmonton is closer to what they were last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and I saw somebody say, who said? Somebody said that. Oh, Smith going out. Oh, that's a Canadian. That hurts the Elks. Like, you know how many fucking Canadians are on the Elks? Like, that's not gonna hurt them.
Everyone's fucking Canadian. They're gonna get that extra draft. Everyone takes a snap.
I was laughing. I'm like, did they almost start like 11 guys on offense or something? Like, what?
They're good. They have no issues with the ratio.
No, yeah, the ratio. The Elks are fine. They have tons of Canadian depth on that team.
All right, so we're gonna go with the under. The unit bet we'll tweet out.
It's one unit. It's one unit. But it's. I really like it, but I can't put 2 units on an under, man. Like it's
a little sweat.
I know the totals were great last week, so maybe I should, but we're also on the spread, so it's I don't want to. If Edmonton wins outright and it's like 30-23, you want to win money there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you want to make some cash. All right,
because you have the money line in the pocket.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's do it. So we're cashing it in. It's the best bet. We're 9-3 on the best bets, up 5.5 units. So if you've been tailing us,
take off?
great. What
Did
I
you take off the unit for the futures bets?
No, not yet. Not on the show.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
no,
can take that off
the future. Yeah. Okay. I'll make
wait
that
till the
adjustment.
end. Wait till the end.
Yeah, I want to have the future separate from the season.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The futures
it's just
are
easier for my numbers here. The futures so far not so great. 0-1. But you know what? We got the Saskatchewan Grey Cup. Still looks pretty good.
Well, we have both.
And Hamilton.
Calgary worries me, but I Winnipeg obviously they could play at home.
Yeah,
but
Saskatchewan's not losing at home.
Yeah.
in the playoffs. Against what, Calgary?
What if it's in Calgary?
If it's in Calgary, yes, it's an issue.
Also, the one team I wouldn't be worried about going to Winnipeg is Hamilton. Everybody else, I'd be pretty worried. But there's revenge in that game.
Yeah.
Right for what happened. So there's still some players that were on that team. So
yeah, they still remember it. All right. Well, let's pivot real quick because you have one more show this week. Tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
You have your AFC NFC North preview, and we had a blockbuster trade today. That's gonna impact your show a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta rewrite every night. Thank goodness it happened today. I saved the North for last. It's like I knew. Micah Parsons is going to Green Bay. For those, I'm sure everybody who watches football knows. But the two most fun divisions, we kept them for last. Very likely that the Super Bowl winner will be discussed tomorrow, in my opinion. There's you look at it. There's four Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah. Lions,
Packers. Four Super Bowl contenders in these divisions. Maybe actually 5 if you count the Bengals. Yeah.
Oh, you weren't even counting the Bengals. You were taking
Minnesota.
Who were you taking into it? You were taking Vikings? We'll talk
about it tomorrow.
If the QB is a legit guy, yeah.
If the rookie quarterback's legit, the rest of the team is insane. Yeah.
Oh, poor Bears. And the Bears are good too.
The Bears are good too. Yeah, everybody's good tomorrow except the Browns. So
except the Browns.
We're tune in tomorrow. We're gonna clown the Browns and we'll talk about everybody else.
All right. Well, let's do that.
And Johnny, the prop man, will make his debut tomorrow. Cowboy Keith sounds like he had some
on the IL
issues at the ranch. His horse is on the IL, so you might miss it tomorrow.
Oh, that's all right. You got the prop man. He'll be able to talk North previews too. That guy is pretty knowledgeable. And he'll clown on the Browns. He loves clowning on them.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
What a disaster. I mean,
all right.
It's not as bad as some of the other teams, but it's bad.
Yeah. Well, Mike, Pieguy, another beautiful edition of the betcast. We kept it under an hour, a bit higher than 45 minutes, but hey, if you guys tuned in, if you're tailing, watch us, subscribe to our channels. Mike will be on live tomorrow.
And we're hot. We're hot.
Oh, we're hot.
We're like 10-3 in the last 2 weeks. That's really good.
We're gonna keep that streak going into Labor Day. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you next Wednesday. Peace.
Goodbye.